and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Scattershot. And this is another figure that I had no intentions of picking up. This guy is a heavy retool of Combiner Wars Silverbolt from the Aerial Bots. So when I saw this guy, I wasn't too crazy about just the retooling him for Scattershot here. But I recently saw, I think it was earlier this week, I saw pictures of a possible Computron. So, of course, as soon as I saw that, I had to run out and pick this guy up. Dang you, Hasbro, taking my money again. But is this guy going to be able to win me over the way Cyclonus did? Let's check out the review and find out. So, released in February of 2016, this guy's brand new. He's hitting store shelves right now as of the time of this recording. And he's retailing for approximately $25. As you can see, he's sort of a jet and spaceship, kind of a hybrid, which is accurate to what the original figure was. The original figure was described to be a jet / spaceship. Here in this whatever mode, he's approximately 9 inches long. He's about 2.5 inches tall at the top of the tail fin here, and he's got a wingspan of about 6.5 inches. So just taking a look here, we can see that this is, again, a very heavy retool, remode of, not Scattershot, Silverbolt from the Aerial Bots. They've redone the nose cone here, so that he's got the big cannon in the front, which is accurate to the original figure. And then they've done the wings to point forward there, which again is accurate to the G1. But here is the part that I am really not too crazy about, is that the whole top part of the fuselage here, including half of this nose cone, was left over from Silverbolt. They did absolutely no effort in remolding any of that and changing this to make it look different. In the case of Cyclonus, all of this top part here was completely remolded. It was brand new, which is why Cyclonus did such a good job of looking like another figure. And in this case, it really doesn't. It looks more like a repaint than it does a retool. As you can see all the little windows there from the jet mode for Silverbolt. You can see the door right there. The cockpit up here stays the same. And even these wings back here, which are really not even accurate to Scattershot at all. So I would have really liked to have seen them remold this. Even use the ones that they used for Cyclonus. You know, I think would have looked better on this figure than they would have looked than this one does. So that's that. The landing gear has been, I think the landing gear has been replaced to a flat, like a skid sort of. He's got the molding wheels down at the bottom. He pretty much looks exactly like the other two. Not a whole lot of difference there. Colors look okay. A lot of red and like a cream. It's like an off-white, like a cream, which is, you know, sort of accurate. This sort of like an off-red here is actually more accurate than this vibrant red up here. So the original figure was more of a cream with this off-red and more of a maroon in places. And for comparison, we'll bring in the G1 figure right here. And as you can see, he does take a lot of cues from that guy. You can see the wings. The shape of the wings are made to be similar to the ones on the G1 right here. And then you've got the nose cone that was a big cannon. Of course, this guy, the G1 here, he had that attack mode right there, which I did not mean to deploy. But he also had a kind of like a cannon emplacement mode that you transform this guy into. He had a third mode. Or a fourth mode, rather. This guy is kind of a quadruple changer because he's got this jet mode, he's got a cannon mode, he's got a robot mode, and he's got the torso mode for Computron. So this guy does a lot for a G1 figure. But there you go. You can see, honestly, I would have liked to see, instead of doing the vibrant red here in the top center, a maroon, I think, would have looked a little better. And yeah. So, and again, this whole top of the jet here just looks way off to me. It just really doesn't do a good job for me personally. I don't think it's translating well. So, there's one last look at the two of them together, and we'll get right into the transformation, which is going to be, one more thing before I forget. The weapon is the exact same weapon that we got for Cyclonus and for Silverbolt. And I forgot to mention this with the Cyclonus reviews, that these guys come apart. So for the regular robot mode, you can just give him this and use this as a shield instead of that long rifle. I forgot to mention that with Cyclonus, and it's been brought up to my attention. So there it is. I'm saying it on this one. And you can attach it to the jet mode by flipping in the landing gear and using these two ports and these two pegs and plugging those in. And of course the rifle has its own built-in, see if I can get that in there all the way, and the rifle has its own built-in landing gear as well, so it serves as a landing gear, and I guess it helps to add a little bit of that cannon look to him, I suppose. You know, out of the three, this one probably looks the most in place, having that that large cannon attached to the nose cone right there. Out of the three, I guess this one looks the best. So with that cannon anyway. So out of the three, honestly, let's keep going with the review. Let me not get into that yet. So transformation, flip down the tail fin, take the nose cone and flip it all the way up and over, just like so. Take the wings here, and these are pegged in. They got a tab right there. They're pegged into the arms there, so bring them up. And there's going to be a little slot right there. You can bring them in and line them up with those wings right there. Take the arms and just kind of pull them up and out of the way. Take the legs. These are going to swing out. Rotate them forward. Straighten out the arms. Come around the back here. Bring out the legs. And these got really nice tight joints. At least they got nice tight joints. So these little panels here are going to flap down, cover that up. Bring out the heels. And finally, let's get them standing straight. Finally, open up the chest. Open up the chest. There we go. Pop out the head. Get the head out there. And as usual, I typically like to leave the wings out for these guys. I just think it looks better in robot mode. I don't know. Let's see. It is typically, I think it looked better with the wings out, but in the case of this guy, there's just so much red that is not breaking up here, you know, and it just kind of looks weird. The colors on this guy are really kind of off. They don't break up. So anyway, there is Scattershot in robot mode. So yeah, again, he's pretty much just a repaint of Silverbolt in this mold. There's not a whole lot of difference. Nothing you haven't seen before here. Even the face itself, it's pretty much the same. It's just repainted from Silverbolt. Let's get him focused in there. There you go. So same face as Silverbolt, just repainted. Articulation is going to be the same. You've got a rotation at the head. Actually, you've got a ball joint at the head, so up and down. Rotation, a little bit of tilt sideways, rotation, nice ratchet at the shoulder there, in and out, forward and backwards. You got a rotation at the bicep, you got a bend at the elbow, and nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. Ratchet, universal joint at the hip, so in and out, forward and backwards, rotation at the thigh. You got a bend at the knee, you got a double hinge at the knee due to transformation and combination, and a little bit of tilt at the ankles, or at the heels or feet or toes or whatever. So there you go. If you haven't been able to tell by now, I'm not a huge fan of this figure. And again, I had no intentions of picking this guy up. Much like Cyclonus, I had no intentions of picking that guy up. But unlike Cyclonus, Cyclonus won me over once I was able to check him out and see that he did a really good job of looking like a whole nother figure. He won me over. This guy, not so much. It doesn't seem like a lot of effort was put into making him look like something else. You put Cyclonus and Silverbolt next to each other, they look like different figures. You put this guy and Silverbolt next to each other, this just looks like a red Silverbolt. So more, almost like a G2 Silverbolt, really, is what it looks like. So he hasn't done a lot to win me over. Bringing in the weapon, once again, we're just going to split this off, and we'll put this guy here to act as a shield, even though the original never had a shield, and we'll give him this weapon here. And you can do that with the weapons, so there you go. That's what he looks like with his weapons. And again, still, this cannon still seems a little long for the Voyager-sized robot mode. Even when it's split up that way, it still seems a little large. He still can't stand with his arms straight down because the rifle hits the ground or the surface. So, not a big fan of this weapon. Not for this mode, but it works okay for both the Superion and the Galvatronus combined modes. So we'll see. I do kind of have like a makeshift Computron that I'm going to put together with him. And we'll see how this weapon looks with him. So, real quick for comparison, once again, here he is next to the G1. And, yeah, one of the rare occasions when the G1 figure is not smaller than this new one. They actually are about the same height. But as you can see, a long way to go here still with the paint. You can see the cues with the head, and actually, even though it's the same head as Silverbolt, there are still, let me see if I can focus that in there, there are still quite similar in the head department. You know, these heads for the G1s, they weren't very different from each other, so that actually does work as a head for Scattershot. You know, the shape of the head and the blue paint for the visor and the face. It does actually work. You can see a lot of the cues here. You got the blue detail on the chest here is over here again. There's a lot of this cream color, though, for the G1 figure that helps break up the reds and we're going to go with pinks and the maroons that are missing on this new figure. This new figure could really do with a lot more repaint or a lot more of the cream paint, at least in the torso and maybe up here on the shoulders, just to break it up a little bit. And then it definitely needs some of this maroon to help break up all this red. I would have gone with the whole legs, the shins here, probably should have been maroon, and then the shoulder should have been maroon. I think that would have helped break up the color a lot for this figure. So one last look at him, and we're going to get into the combination. One more time, again, nothing we haven't seen before. It's going to be the exact same setup for our combiner. So we're just going to put the head away, bring the arms straight up, and get those straight. Take the wrists, flip them back, bring the arm or the legs down and around. Go around here, go around the back, open up these flaps, put away the heels, put away the feet. Same thing on the other side. Rotate these and get them clipped back into place where they were originally for the jet mode right there. In this case, they are a little easier to see now that you don't have the wings like Silverbolt did. At least you can see a little easier where those guys go. So there goes, there's where those guys are going to go. This guy goes like this. And then we're going to open up the head panel here. This is going to come up. Rotate these antennas. This head is the same one as Superion. There's a little tab on the back of the head here that's going to go into the back of that tail fin right there. And then these panels are going to double hinge in. Close up. Oh, before we do that, take this little panel here where the upside down Autobot symbol is. Flip it up to close in that gap. And bring this guy in. And clip these guys together. And that is our torso mode for Computron. Let's get them all ready to go. And I may need to back up a little more here because this guy does get a little tall. Oh, before I forget, and these panels here, they need to bring these panels out and bring these down. And yeah, we're probably going to end up backing up. So what I've done here is I'm kind of going to make a makeshift Computron here. So I'm going to bring in Dead End, and he is going to stand in for our Lightspeed. Since Lightspeed was a red sports car. And I'm going to bring in Brawl, and he's going to step in for our Nose Cone. Nose Cone was a track vehicle of sorts, not necessarily a tank. It was more like a drilling tank of sorts. But anyway, he's going to stand in for now. And yeah, that's definitely going to be a lot taller than we'd expected. We're going to have to bring our camera up some. And then I'm going to bring in Drag Strip here. He is going to step in for Afterburner, since Afterburner was orange. He was an orange, looked like a light cycle from Tron. And we don't have anything that looks like a motorcycle. So I'm going with just orange. Orange is the theme here. And then finally, I'm going to bring in Firefly. He's going to be my stand-in for Strafe, since Strafe was a red jet. And there we go. That is our makeshift Computron. And again, I mean, as far as combiners go, he looks okay. He looks honestly to me, he looks like a red torsoed Superion. Not a whole lot of difference here. They didn't really do a good job of making him look any different than Superion did. And again, all that red is just a sea of red and nothing to break it up with the original Computron. We'll set this guy off to the side just a little bit and bring in the G1 Computron. Just so you can kind of see what I was going for here. And yeah, with the original Computron, again, the legs were that off-white, that cream colored, so that helped break up all that red and maroon a little bit. And then again the head. Um, this is just all this red here. Yes, granted, this is a different shade of red between the vibrant red and this off red here, but it's just not enough of a difference. It just all blends in together. And again, the helmet, completely different in the head department here. They just used Superion's head and they just painted the inside of the head black instead of silver. That's it. Where the original Computron had a maroon head with a red face and gold goggles. So I may actually try to repaint mine. I've been playing with the airbrush kit here recently with all my Gundams, so I may try to do that myself. But it's just not doing enough to break up. I think again, if we just had the cream colored legs here, it might help a lot to break that up. So there it is. So yeah, it didn't really do a good job of winning me over the way Cyclonus did. It's another combiner, so I guess that's fun. You know, I got something to attach other combiners to and play around with. But as far as making a convincing new character, it really didn't deliver, in my opinion, for this one. So one last shot there with the G1, and we'll bring him in for his final shot. I'm make sure we got him nice and centered there and fully on camera. And I think with that, we've pretty much covered Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Voyager Class Scattershot. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.